Hey. Are you punks paying for that?
Maybe I really got lucky. A cylinder of pepper spray, you can recover from that. A knife, a gun, not so much.
We got to get tough on this crime. People are fed up.
David Menzies for Rebel News here in West End, Toronto. And folks, just the other day, I was at this Liquor Control Board of Ontario store here on the Queensway, picking up a bottle of Lafroig quarter cask because, well, where the hell else am I supposed to buy a bottle of scotch other than this government-owned monopoly? And you know what, folks? I was off duty, minding my own business, but I don't know, sometimes you go looking for trouble, other times trouble finds you, doesn't it? And that's exactly what happened to me. Check out the video footage.
Yeah, you don't want to agitate. Are you guys paying for that? Hey. Are you punks paying for that? Hey, what is that? You had a weapon.
Now, you know what, folks? Maybe with all the violence that we've seen in the last several weeks, maybe I need my head examined for getting involved. I mean, you saw one of those reprobates. He had something trained on me. It looked like a cylinder with bear spray or pepper spray in it. I don't know. I certainly didn't want to find out the hard way. That's why I backed off. But I did get the license plate number, and I did pass that information along to the LCBO staffers here. And of course, the other thing is, maybe I really got lucky. A cylinder of pepper spray, you can recover from that. A knife, a gun, not so much. But welcome to Mayor Olivia Chow's Hogtown, where the crime wave is now reaching historic proportions. In any event, as I look back at that incident, what did I learn? Well, a few things. One, for starters, those weren't random thieves. These were regulars. In fact, the LCBO clerk said to her co-worker, "Oh, they're here again." And I made the joke, "Do you mean regular robbers?" And she said yes. And so it is that they just come in near closing time, help themselves to hundreds, maybe thousands of dollars worth of booze. And by the way, for the record, the van they were driving, it's a white Chevy van with plate number CB39133. So if you see a white Chevy van with the plate number CB39133, please call the police, assuming they give a rodent's rectum. What else did I learn? Well, number two, this is another reason we need the Castle Law Doctrine improved. One of the LCBO employees told me after the fact that had he gotten involved, guess what? Instant dismissal from the LCBO. And he said the staff have been told that if you rough up a thief and they get injured, guess what? You can be taken to civil court in a lawsuit, a personal injury lawsuit. Unbelievable. So, Premier Ford, please stop talking a big game. I remember when you said how proud you were of that customer fighting back at an LCBO that was getting robbed in broad daylight. You are the Premier with a supermajority government, and yet your own Crown Corporation, the LCBO, is telling its staff to back away, stand down. Well, which is it?
He stood up and held them accountable. I'd love to meet that guy one day. You gave him a couple slugs in the head. They deserve a slug in the head every once in a while.
The third thing I learned, folks, is I think I have some insight as to why some folks are fighting back, why some folks like myself followed the thieves out to get some license plate information. And the fact is this, as Ontarians, we are essentially shareholders of the LCBO. This is a Crown Corporation. It is losing by some estimates, $77 million a year. That estimate is from a few years ago. I think it's much worse right now. Whenever I go to an LCBO and I say, have you had any theft recently? Oh man, fasten your seatbelt. They've all got stories. What can we do instead of just ranting about it? What can Doug Ford do instead of staging stupid photo ops like pulling Kentucky bourbon and California wines from the shelves, like pouring a bottle of Crown Royal down the drain? Well, here's what we can do. How about hiring paid duty police officers armed with lethal force? I think their mere presence would scare away the thieves. Yes, that is expensive, but compared to $77+ million a year, I think it's cheaper than that. Secondly, why not go back to the LCBO business model of yesterdecade? When you go back several decades ago, these LCBO stores weren't Martha Stewart Taj Mahals with all the liquor on display. They resembled banks. You went to the counter, you wrote down the number and name of the bottle that you wanted, and then the clerk went to the back as though a bank teller was going to the vault, and he came back with your bottle. You didn't get to touch it until you paid for it in full. I would say you would reduce theft by 99.9% if you adopted the old business model. The 0.1%, well, there's always going to be internal shrinkage. So there you have it. Just another day in Toronto, right? Where bad guys and reprobates come in and help themselves to perhaps thousands of dollars of merchandise at your expense, assuming you're an Ontario taxpayer. Wow, I need a drink. Actually, make it a double. Hey folks, are you concerned that the LCBO doesn't give a rodent's rectum about record theft? And why would they? What they do at the end of the year is just mark up the bottles by another 5% and recover it that way. So yes, the law-abiding customer, he gets penalized, the thieves get rewarded. It is an absolute outrage. And if you think like I do, please go to sellthelcbo.com. sellthelcbo.com. Government has a role when it comes to alcohol, and that is to regulate it and tax it. It is not to warehouse it and retail it. And right now, the LCBO is doing a horrible job retailing the stuff, given the millions and millions of dollars going out the door.